Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. I apologize for that shakiness. I was trying to get my phone into the mount, and it kept wanting to drop off, and then it almost hit the power off button. But I'm going to do something a little different. I have pulled up the chat on my tablet so I can read that. So what I have here, two Menu 21s, the lemon pepper tuna. This is a 2024 pack from Sapaco. And then this one is a 2023 pack from Ameriqual. This came from a different seller, so it has a barcode, but it says lemon pepper tuna. There are a few differences in between these two. I believe this might be the second year for this style of packaging. And this has the wavy, or almost like a serrated edge down the long sides, but no tear notch, whereas this 2024, they have actually improved that. Smooth edge, and there is a tear notch that I have just stuck my thumbnail in. So this is a 2024. You can see the tuna pack there. And it is a thick one, whereas a 2023, you cannot see any that might have tuna. And both of these have flameless ration heaters. This one, you can also tell that there is a heating sleeve, which you would only find in a US MRE that just has your basic retort pouch, whereas these tuna packs have the nutritional information on the back side of the pouch. Regine and Holly have come in. Thanks for dropping in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open both of these because sometimes these tuna emeries do not have tuna in them at all. They have something else in them entirely. So because the 2023 one does not have a tear notch, I'm going to go ahead and cut one. And here is the standard retort pouch. This is the jalapeno beef patty. So that is what is in this one. I'm going to move the 2024 off to the side. So here is the heating sleeve that has all this kind of stuff that you would normally find on some of these. And it has nutritional information and the ingredients for the jalapeno beef patty. And here is the accessory pack. No coffee. Along with the pepper jack beef patty. Baked snack crackers in a slightly narrower and longer pouch that is almost the same size as the beef patty retort pouch. But these are basically Cheez-Its. This one has a lemon poppy seed pound cake. And it has a pack of Reese's Pieces, just like the 2024. And this has standard cheese spread. It has the plain tortillas. It has mayonnaise like you would expect for the tuna. So that is an oddity as well. And for the only drink option, the lemon lime drink in the shaker pouch. Then you have the spoon and FRH, the flameless ration heater. So that is what is in the 2023. So I'm going to stick everything back inside here. Granted, it won't be nearly as neat as the way it was when it was packed. But I don't care because I'm going to be eating this jalapeno beef patty. So now we will get into, let's see who else is here. Dr. Hassan is here. Welcome, thanks for dropping in. Captain Diaper, that is an odd name, but thanks for dropping in. John, let's see, Multi Magnum is here. You know, I'm seeing some other names that I had not seen before. So let's try out this tear knot, see how well this works. It takes some effort to get it started, but definitely not a clean rip. And that's a disappointing thing about this new packaging. It is not a clean open. In fact, it just completely ripped down the center. So first off the bat for the 2024 pack, we got the tortillas. Sterling Foods, they have changed their packaging. See the branding on the back side. And you get the heating sleeve, but nothing on it. It just says lemon pepper tuna, which is an odd thing because the nutritional information is on the tuna packet itself. Again, the same snack crackers, different shape. Got Reese's Pieces. Apple pie dessert spread. It's like apple pie filling, but I don't feel any apple chunks. It could be like a thick puree. So that is a new item. This one just says mayonnaise. It doesn't say fat-free. Same drink powder, the lemon lime. Marble pound cake in this one for the dessert. Then accessory pack, no coffee. And the accessory pack is bigger. It's about the size of the one that you would find in the first strike ration. Then you get the spoon. The FRH, which is really not needed for the tuna. And the tuna packet itself, and as you can see, it has the nutritional information on it. So I'm putting everything back in here as well. Because this one was not a neat open, I will probably end up just stripping this one anyway. And I may be doing something with that, with these components in separate meals later on. So this one here will be what I will be eating tonight. But because there is no hot drink option, I'm going to go ahead and go get something. While more people roll in. I am back. That bag of G7 instant coffees that I bought, that I showed during my April shopping haul, I opened that bag and I got one of those. My Crusher is here, spicy tuna rolls. Cliff is here. Booger Butt has dropped in. Something a little different. For those that have just come in, I opened up 2 Menu 21s. One of them has the jalapeno beef patty. That's the 2023 pack. The 2024 has the tuna. The 23 one was done by, you know, it was done by Sapaco, the 2024 by Ameriqual. So slightly different packaging. This lemon lime is actually my favorite of the sugar-based Amory drink mixes. The only sugar-free one I like is the raspberry. I'll give that another stir later on. I just have a plastic bag off to the side. That is what it kind of looks like, the Nescafe Sweet and Creamy, but with a little bit, the coffee is slightly different. Matthew, thanks for dropping in. I hope you enjoy this. I do this every Sunday night. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put this jalapeno beef patty into the pot on my stove to heat that up. And then I'm going to warm these tortillas. And here is the cheese spread. And the mayonnaise makes no sense in this one, but I will simply add that to my stash, and that may come out another day. So I will be right back. I will keep this out as the night goes on to show that this has the beef patty instead of the lemon pepper tuna. And I just have a bag off to the side that I'm putting my trash in. Got Snail's House, Paul here, thanks for dropping in. This G7 3-in-1 coffee was introduced to me several years ago at an Iowa YouTuber meetup, and some YouTubers from other states came up here to join us, and one of them brought some G7 coffee and gave me a packet to try. Ooh, this is some good stuff. I gotta get me some. So when I'm camping with people other than my family, this is the coffee that I would prefer to take. And this is the long, narrow packet of the baked snack crackers, cheddar flavor, also known as Cheez-Its. And they feel like that they have seen better days. Oxygen absorber, I'm going to go ahead and pull that. What I've done with this particular entree, the jalapeno beef patty, is I have taken the Canadian hamburger bun and used that as the bread for it. But I have the tortillas. So I'll just go ahead and stick with those. This is my favorite pound cake, the lemon poppy seed. Tiny bit stuck to the inside. Again, they put an oxygen absorber in there. And I'm opening up the Reese's Pieces. They held up pretty good. You have to excuse the chirping. I just had the battery in my smoke detector that is kind of where my kitchen meets the living room. I had that changed a couple months ago, if even that, and it's already chirping again. So I don't know if the guy who did that put in a bad battery, or if there's something wrong with the smoke detector itself. It's hardwired, and because of that, I cannot take it down to change the battery myself, and because I'm short, it's hard for me to try to open it up. Even standing on my two-step step stool, I have a hard time trying to open that thing up. But I can do the one in my bedroom just fine because that is not hardwired. So I can take that one down and change the battery. There is Sue Nee in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you here. I see her in other chats. But this is a lemon lime drink mix that is one of the flavors that you'll find in the American rations. And as I said earlier before you came in, it happens to be my favorite of the American ration drink mixes that are sugar-based. The only sugar-free one I like is the raspberry. And I don't come across that one very often. So that is what this is. This one has no coffee. This is the accessory pack. So a lot of these USMREs are skipping the coffee altogether. In fact, I will open this to show you what is inside here. Two pieces of peppermint gum, matches with white tips, although I have no idea what the tip color means. Get a moist towelette, a tiny packet of salt, half the amount that you used to get, and what I like to call a rear roll. So it's like a toilet tissue thin individual squares that have been folded up and wrapped. That is what you are getting in these accessory packets. Maybe once in a while you might still get instant coffee, a packet of creamer, maybe a packet of sugar, and a packet of artificial sweetener. Waffles is here. Thanks for dropping in. And at the beginning, I opened up this. This is the 2023 pack, lemon pepper tuna, but instead of the tuna, the jalapeno beef patty. Then I opened up a 2024, and I have that here. This one was a totally bad rip, but it has the tuna. A 23 pack had the mayonnaise that you would normally associate with the tuna, along with the cheese spread for the beef patty. At the 24 pack has the tuna, it has a mayonnaise, but it also has a different item, the apple pie spread, which is something that I'm definitely looking forward to trying. But I wanted to open up both of these to show the difference in what can happen when you have a substitution like there was in 2023. Sometimes they got chicken, sometimes not. Yeah, I'm thankful to my mods for dealing with the trash. Now I will go back to the kitchen. I will get the tortillas, the cheese spread, and the beef patty. I am back. I use this, it's a dome lid from my cookware set that I've had since 1980s. So I'm going to take the tortillas out first. I'm going to leave the cheese spread and beef patty in there for the moment. Warming the tortillas, if you have the means to do so, sometimes makes them a little bit more pliable. Oxygen absorber was left in there, so I'm going to lay those there. Now I've reached in for the cheese spread. I'm just wiping that off. Yeah, I just bring a paper towel. I'm gonna take the inner tortilla. I'm actually gonna lay that other one there. I'm kneading the cheese spread a little bit. And I'm going to cut a corner off. Now I'm wiping off the beef patty itself. These come with a lot of liquid, and I really don't want that. So, and they have accommodated that. They put a tear notch this way. Normally in these pouches, the tear notch goes lengthways, but for this one they put it this way. And I'm going to take the fork end of my spork and lift that out and put that on the tortilla. And I'm leaving the broth in there. Now I have the patty in the tortilla. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this other tortilla and put the rest of the cheese spread on it. Sometimes with the jalapeno beef patty menu, when you get the proper one that actually has the correct name, show that it is the jalapeno beef patty, you may get the jalapeno cheese spread. And that is a real bonus when you can get that. So there is the tortilla with the cheese spread. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this one with the beef patty. I like the kick that the jalapeno gives the beef patty. You don't get a lot of the flavors like this with some of the other MEE menus. Of course, I'll have some of that liquid on there, but that's okay. I got the paper towel. I'll just keep that handy. Thanks for dropping in, Cliff. Hope to see you next month. Yep, this is my last stream for April, obviously. Tim Riley is here. Thanks for dropping in. Again, for those who just came in late, I opened up 2 different USMRA Menu 21s. The 2023 pack, which I am enjoying tonight, did not have the lemon pepper tuna. It had the jalapeno beef patty. But it had the mayonnaise in there like you would find for the tuna. Whereas the 2024 pack has the tuna in it. A couple other differences. Like a different flavor pound cake. And it has an apple pie filling spread, which is a new thing on me, so I'm looking forward to trying that. But the way some of these open up, this one had a much cleaner open. Of course, I cut a tear notch, and there was a much cleaner open than 2024. That one completely split down the middle. But same drink mix in both versions. Again, no coffee. Same accessory pack in both versions. So the coffee in my delicious mug is a G7. I opened up that bag that I bought earlier this month and showed off in my April shopping haul. These are basically Cheez-It crackers. Nation MRA Finds and Mother Earth Garden Club are here. Thanks for dropping in. The title says lemon pepper tuna, but this one, in 2023, they substituted the beef patty, the jalapeno beef patty, for the tuna. Apparently, there was something fishy going on with their tuna supply, so they would drop in another entree. But for the most part, all the other components are the same. There's a Korean viewer here. Thanks for dropping in. Unfortunately, I cannot read Korean, so I had no idea about the name. I do apologize. Spanish is my second language. I mess with a little French. I mess with a little German. I mess with a little Russian. I could pick up some Italian and some Portuguese. I know a few words of Polish. But that is about it for my languages. But I do thank you for dropping in. I do have a Korean ration item that I will get to later in the year. I cannot read that. So when I do post up on that one, I do hope that you do come in so you can maybe give me some ideas on it. But I'm going to enjoy it either way. Yeah, this is a lemon poppy seed pound cake. The 2024 pack has a marble pound cake. But the Reese's Pieces are the same. The Cheez-Its are the same. The tortillas are the same. Both have cheese spread, or both have mayonnaise. This one has this one here has, it just says mayonnaise. The 2024 pack has fat-free mayonnaise. But they left this mayonnaise in here even though there's no tuna. So I don't know if they expected the person in the field to put all of the cheese spread with the jalapeno and then put the mayonnaise on the other tortilla. Now, thanks for dropping in, Dave, and say hi to LJ for the rest of us. Gonna have a drink of my lemon lime drink. He is one busy young man right now with the sports that he's doing along with his schoolwork. These Cheez-Its do taste nice and fresh. They're crunchy, just the way you want them. The plain or regular cheese spread to me is very, very salty, but the jalapeno one The jalapeno cuts through that saltiness, and that I do like about that one. I almost thought about swapping out the cheese spreads for a jalapeno cheese spread that I have, but I said, nope, I'm going to stick what's in the ration and go with that. Yeah, a positive, especially if it's a false positive, that would really knock you for a loop. So it's a good thing I'm not going to have one of those after eating this pound cake, because look at all them poppy seeds in there. That would definitely show up. But I like this pound cake. It's one of my favorites. I do like the marble, but a good lemon poppy seed pound cake, you can never go wrong with that. Yeah, they do, and that's one thing you have to watch out for is be careful when you eat something with poppy seeds. Because that could come back to bite you in the dupa. Well, I have done nurse aid clinicals in nursing homes, which I enjoyed very much. And I did one in a hospital where I actually used medical Spanish to interpret between a patient, the family, and the staff. So it was a great experience. Unfortunately, that hospital just never hired me, despite the fact that I didn't live far away and they could have had a bilingual, but they blew it. I'm in my apartment living room. I've had this tray for several years. It's one of two that I use. The other one I might bring out once in a while is a Tupperware lunch tray that I've had since 1983. And again, I apologize for the chirping you may hear. I had a battery in my hardwired smoke detector changed a couple months ago, and it's already chirping low battery again. So I put in a maintenance request because that thing is just too high. I cannot completely take it down from the ceiling without messing with the wiring, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know if it was a bad battery to begin with, or if the smoke detector itself is on its last leg and needs to be replaced. But I'm not planning on going anywhere tomorrow, so if a maintenance guy shows up, I'm going to ask about it. The one in my bedroom is not hardwired, so I can take that one down from the ceiling so I can actually open it to swap the battery. Yeah, it probably wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I have Hy-Vee branded batteries that I've used, but I also have some better quality ones in storage that I will bring out at a later time. So I'll burn through my cheapies first before I get into those other ones. Again, for those just coming in, I opened up 2 USMRE Menu 21 tuna lemon pepper, but this one, they did not have access to tuna, so the jalapeno beef patty was substituted, but they left the mayonnaise in there, which is something you would associate with the tuna. The 2024 pack has the tuna, and with one exception of an item and maybe a flavor difference in another, the menus are basically the same. The 2024 pack has something called apple pie filling spread, whereas this one did not have anything like that, but it has the cheese bread that I have some of here in this tortilla. I warmed it, that's why it's a bit on the oily side. And it had the mayonnaise, whereas the other one has the mayonnaise and the apple pie filling spread. Accessory packets are the same, both no coffee. This is G7 3-in-1 instant coffee. I just felt in the mood for that, so I opened up that bag that I showed in my April stock up haul video. The lemon lime drink is the same in both. Reese's Pieces are the same in both. This one is a lemon poppy seed pound cake. The 2024 has the marble. Yeah, I don't doubt that one bit. Yeah, for those that are not here in Iowa, there's a store called Interstate Batteries, and that place has a wide variety of battery types and sizes that you can get to meet whatever power needs you have. I have never gone there before. It's not on a city bus route, so I don't know what it's like but my late dad used to go in there a lot. I know other people who have gone in there to get a battery that is hard to find elsewhere besides online. I have some rechargeable Duracells and the other ones, and then I have Energizers, both the rechargeable and the non-rechargeable. And then I have some other rechargeable batteries that are different branded or unbranded. So I have a variety of those. And of course I have some specialty battery types, like for some of my flashlights, like my O-lights. Some of them take different batteries, like 18650s or 21700s or something like that. So I keep several of those battery types available. That way I can just swap it out as needed and then charge it up. when I'm able to do so, or I have the time to do it. I have a variety of battery chargers that can accommodate those batteries. Then I have the O Station X, their AA version, which currently charges the nickel metal hydride batteries. And I think there's supposed to be a firmware update where I might be able to charge the lithium batteries, but I don't know about that. Then in the future, there's going to be a AAA version, and you can store 30 batteries in there. Actually, 32. You can charge, you just drop the batteries in, and as they charge, they drop down into the holding area. And then it has a sensor that will detect a wrong battery type or a bad battery that it can't charge. So if you accidentally drop a AAA in it, it'll just kick it out into the reject drawer. So I have that. And so far I've only charged Olight branded batteries in it. And I ran that off of my Opus power station. But I went to charge that back up, and somehow I can't find my cord, so I'm guessing it might have, since I last charged it, because I hadn't charged it for quite a while. I think since before my apartment got flooded last year. I cannot find my power cord, and I think I may have left it in the box that power station came in. And when the workers were cleaning up the mess, they probably felt that box was empty and tossed it while I was gone. And I don't have that cord, but I'm able to find one online, so I will just buy another one when I get paid at the end of the month. I won that power station, by the way, and then last year, and then about a month ago, I won a 100-watt Opus solar panel. But because my deck doesn't get direct sun, I would have to take it down to the park and basically babysit it while it charges my power station. Otherwise, I'm afraid it would get stolen, so I just don't feel like doing that. So I'll just buy another power cable to charge it up from a wall outlet. I didn't know that the interstate was a large company. That's nice to know that these places are all over. So if you need batteries, that would probably be the place to go if you can get to one. I'm going to take some of these busted Cheez-Its. Put it in the tortilla. Thanks for dropping in, John. Hope to see you next month. Yeah, putting the crackers in there cuts through the saltiness of the cheese spread. I meant John, sorry about that. Yeah, tomorrow we are going to have some serious storms roll through, and I wanted to charge my Opus power station. So I currently don't have a way to do that now, because I have been using it to charge power banks and the phone, because I wanted to cycle it, do another full discharge cycle and then recharge it. I ran it down to 0, but I'll have to wait till I get that power cord to charge it back up again. But I have smaller power stations that I can use, plus my power banks if I'm in the dark tomorrow. But I will have Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, y'all, is the name of the channel. And all he does is weather. He has been doing some streams when some big storms have popped up in other areas, and then he'll do other videos to give a heads up about what may be coming to a certain area. And he has contacts with storm chasers, and he can bring in their camera feeds into a stream so you can see what they're seeing. I like the bit of crunch that you get from the crackers. Tortilla splitting, but I don't care. I put a couple of the crackers on the beef patty. Just to give it a little crunch. And I like that. Cuts through the saltiness, gives it some flavor. I would prefer to have a hamburger bun, or at least a wheat snack breads, having 2 of those. In place of the tortillas, but this is working. And also for those who are new to the channel, last week I opened up a USMRE, the beef ravioli. The week before, I opened up a Canadian IMP, or individual meal pack, ravioli, as a comparison between the 2 rations with the similar entree. And I can do that again with a US MEE, the beef goulash, and then I have a Polish single meal ration, which also has a beef goulash. So I may do that with those two. There's Emily here. Thanks for dropping in. And that was a funny one. Yeah, I enjoy doing those comparisons between the American and Canadian beef raviolis. And I think I'm going to have just as much fun comparing the American and Polish goulashes. Now, old Smokey was on last night, and he didn't think he had had goulash emery. I said in the chat that I really like it. I think he would enjoy it. Emily is across the pond, so it's early in the AM over there. Now these, a lot of these Cheez-Its, I'll probably end up going after some of these with my, the spoon end of my spork. Some of the cheese spread is in the second tortilla, and then I have a bit of the Cheez-It in there. The crackers cut through the saltiness of the cheese spread. At least to me, the plain cheese spread is very salty. The jalapeno cheese spread does not taste quite as salty because the jalapenos cut through it. You get that nice jalapeno kick from it. Again, this is how badly this 2024, it had a tear notch, and I started to pull it, and it just went right down the middle. And this is what they put in here. They put the flameless ration heater, and they put this which is kind of stupid because, for one thing, the printing on this one is not as dark as this same side on the 2023. It has no nutritional information because it's right there on the tuna packet. So why they stuck this in, I don't know. They stuck the flameless ration heater in here. And they never used to put these in with the tuna. I'm not sure what's up with that. I don't know if soldiers in the field were actually wanting to heat the tuna, get an accessory packet, and both of these no coffee, so they would not need to use it to heat up a beverage bag. But then again, you could use it as a body warmer. You activate the FRH, stick it inside your jacket. Or maybe stick it in a pocket. Yeah, I suppose you could try that, but because these have peanut butter, or I just bit one open, I don't know how well that would work because they have peanut butter inside them. And it's a very sweet peanut butter at that. But if you had the regular M&Ms, now that could possibly work. But with these hard shells, it might take a little bit more heat than what the FRH could produce to melt through that. But it could be something to experiment with. Yeah, use one of those culinary torches like you'd use to do a creme brulee. Or if you're doing a flambe of something. Yeah, that might work. But you would probably want to have them out of the pack. Because that flame would probably mess up that pack pretty good. Yeah, this is a lemon lime drink mix. It is one of the better Amory drink mixes to me. The fruit punch and the tropical punch are my least favorite. And these that are sugar based, that's what they get. That's what they use for sweeteners, is real sugar. The sugar free ones, the only one that I really like is raspberry. But these sugar based ones do take a lot longer to dissolve. And this is a 3-in-1 coffee called G7. These MREs have no coffee in the accessory pack. So I was in the mood for a G7 3-in-1 instant coffee, so that's what I got. Sinra Haj, I apologize for totally frying your name, but I do thank you for dropping in and checking this out. I do these live ration reviews every Sunday at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I am in Iowa. Got viewers that pop in from other countries. This is a lemon poppy seed pound cake, and I will break that open. So this is what the inside of it looks like. See all those black specks are the poppy seeds? This is one of my favorite pound cakes. Not excessively sweet. A good lemon flavor. You do get the flavor of the poppy seeds. Kelvin Davis, thanks for dropping in. No, but I do it to show the inside of it, the cross section. You know, some may have never seen it before, so that's just what I do. A lot of other ration reviewers do the same. And probably those who just do review of other foods who may not be into rations, they may do that as well when they are reviewing something. They'll break it open before they take a bite to show off the inside of it. But it's just how we like to show off the food, what it looks like, for those that have never seen it. Especially if you're from another country, may have never seen something like a lemon poppy seed pound cake, or may have never tried the Reese's Pieces candies. But what I'm showing tonight is, this is supposed to be a US MRE packed in 2023. lemon pepper tuna, but they had an issue with their tuna supplier, so they substituted a jalapeno beef patty and put a packet of cheese spread in there. But everything that was, almost everything that is the same as the 2024 version of this ration that I opened up to compare is the same. Although when this one they left the mayonnaise in there, but I'm obviously not using it because I just don't associate mayonnaise with a jalapeno beef patty and cheese spread, so I will save that for another day. The 2024 version has the tuna. It does have the mayonnaise. It has a marble pound cake instead of the poppy seed. The Reese's Pieces are the same. The lemon lime drink is the same. The Cheez-It crackers are the same. It has a flameless ration heater bag, just like this one does. Again, the accessory packet has no coffee, so I got one for my stash. And the 2024 version has a new thing called an apple pie filling spread. So that one will be opened up on camera. So that is some of the differences. This lemon pepper tuna or any of the other tuna Amaret menus used to not have the flameless ration heater bag in it. But this one has it. The 2024 has it. I'm kind of curious why. But again, if you're creative, you can use those for other purposes besides just heating up an entree or a beverage bag with coffee in it. But that is, but I had a suspicion from earlier conversations that something other than tuna would be in here. But tonight confirmed it. What I will probably end up doing with the tuna, the 2024 version, since the front part of the bag completely filleted itself, I will probably incorporate that into something else. A few other items to do something a little different with. And I would like to bring out that apple pie filling spread onto a different dessert. For instance, say like an apple turnover or a spice pound cake or something like that, where I can put that on something with a complementary flavor, or try it on an apple cinnamon first strike bar. I think that would be fun to do. Plus, being a new item, I'm just curious as to what it looks like and what it tastes like. I like that these companies are coming up with new items. Some of them can be a hit, some of them could be a miss. I also have a first strike ration that I'll get into, and I still have those two mores, those modular operational ration enhancement packs. What I will do with those is combine those with some of my, I call them loose entrees. They're just entrees that just came inside of a box mixed with other items. You know, from the sender. So I will make meals with those. Again, I apologize for the chirping. My hardwired smoke detector, the battery that I just had changed a couple months ago, is making it chirp again, so I gotta have that looked into. So we'll see what happens when a maintenance guy comes in. A few years ago, they changed the shape of these pound cakes from a rectangular or a squared shape to this round one, kind of like the muffin tops. But I think the basic recipe is still the same. I also have a British URP to get into later this year. I have that experimental LRP to get into. And I have that MRE Star branded civilian 24-hour ration that I got off of Emery Mountain. That'll be interesting to check out. I have more halal USMREs. There are a few of the menus that I have not tried that I love to try. I'd love to get my hands on a whole case of halal MREs. But those are a bit on the pricey side right now, but I may wait till June to do a next ration order since I'm pretty stocked up for rations right now, thanks to waffles and that and this 24 pack case B. And speaking of case B, the one that Old Smoky opened up last night, his packed in 21 had a menu 5 put in there. They just completely substituted a different menu out of case A instead of the lemon pepper tuna. So sometimes they did that when they couldn't get the tuna for some reason. They would just, they're putting the MREs into the boxes. If they don't have a certain menu and they want to get a box filled, they'll just grab one from the group that would go into the other case. Like they'll take, like in his case, they took a menu 5 from case A and put it in the case B instead of the tuna MRE. So they might do that instead of just substituting an entree like they did with this 23 pack that I have. Sometimes instead of the jalapeno beef patty, they would get the chicken chunks. Or who knows what else they could have put in some of them. But I guess when they were packing for last year, they got the tuna supply issue resolved. You know, I have not heard of anyone opening up a 2024 tuna emery and not getting the tuna itself in there. But who knows, there could be something out there that's a little fishy with this menu. And yes, I did have to go there. I'm just enjoying these M&Ms and this pound cake. By the way, this G7 3-in-1 coffee, you can find it on Amazon. You can get it in a few different varieties, maybe slightly different flavor. You can get it in the individual packets, or you can get it in a bulk container. But I like the individual packets because I can use it in one of my reviews, or I can put some in my camping food bag. Or I can just take some with me, say, I want to make an instant coffee before I go somewhere. I can just heat up water, put 1 or 2 packs of the G7 in my travel mug, and stir that up, put the lid on, and I'm good to go. I have more of this G7 than what I showed. I bought a few bags of these individual packets, but I have them stashed away. For emergency use. And those Taster's Choice instant coffee packets, I take those out of the boxes and I put them in Ziploc bags. So I have a few bags of those stashed away as well, among other instant coffees. So that's just one of the things that I do to be ready in case I can't use my regular coffee maker. But now that I have a French press, I could boil water. I could put the regular coffee grounds in my French press, and then put the boiling water in it, and then let that sit for a few minutes, and then push the thing down. And then I have fresh brewed coffee. I have not used that yet, but I do have that. I found that French press in a thrift store. Plus, I could always do cowboy coffee on a camp stove. So I got ways to get my coffee in, when things go sideways. If you get a hold of those K-cups for Keurig type coffee maker, you don't have to just use that coffee maker to make that coffee. You can just cut those pods open, dump that out into your regular coffee maker, which I have done. I experimented with that. And it works that way as well. Like for the instant tea and the cocoa mix, you probably just want to mix that with hot water like you would any other instant. I've never tried that with any of the tea or cocoa pods. But with the coffee ones, I have opened them up, dumped them into the basket of my coffee maker, and just brewed it like any other regular ground coffee. But that would be another way to use those. Now, when I stayed in the hotel last year for a couple of nights, they had the Keurig coffee maker, and so I used that to make the coffee, and I got a few extra pods. And what I didn't use there, I brought home just like any good hotel guest would do. Bring home a few goodies. I used the same paper cup all the time I was there. I used the same stir stick all the time I was there. And then the rest of them I brought home. And when I got some food to have in my room so I would not have to go to a restaurant, I went to the front desk and I said, is there any way I could get a plastic spoon? That's all I want is a plastic spoon. They gave me some napkins and a full set, a spoon, a knife, and a fork. And of course, I did not throw any of those away. I brought them home. So they're now part of my stash. You know, just like the little toiletry samples that you get in your room, even if they have bottles like the one I had, the room I had, it had 3 bottle holders in the shower, one for shampoo, one for conditioner, one for body wash. They had as 2 soaps, one already open on the sink, but had not been used yet, but that's just what they do. They had another little soap, lotion, and I think another conditioner or body wash bottle, the little size. So those came home with me. Where some people go to hotels, they will nip those things and then they donate them to thrift stores. And when I was doing hygiene kits for the homeless, that's where I was getting a lot of those little sizes, or I would get the travel bottles and then fill those from bigger bottles to put those kits together. I was just standing up to check my battery level. I'm doing really good. I plug into a power bank, and I make sure that's fully charged and nearly fully charged. And the phone is fully charged at the start. And because I have this power bank also plugged into my computer tower, this desktop computer does not fully boot up. Something's messed up in it, but it does provide some power, so I basically use it as a charging station for devices, and my USB fan that is about a yard away from me. I have that turned on. I've been running that for a few days. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 80s Fahrenheit. Plus we have storms coming in, so I am ready for power outages. So if that does happen, depending on the time of day, I'm ready to deal with it. I won't have to get into my fridge. Although I do have some ground turkey thawing out to cook tomorrow night, but if I lose power, I'll just throw that back in the freezer, and that'll be the end of that, and then I won't open up the fridge or freezer until the power comes back. Again, I will be having a channel called Ryan Hall Y'all on at least part of the day. I also have my weather radio that will beep whenever any warnings come across. So depending on how extensive it is, I can fire up my hotspot to boost any mobile data signal, since obviously my Wi-Fi wouldn't be working. And I could go online with that. Or I could choose not to, depending on what things are like. I had Ryan Hall on yesterday when there were storms going through Texas, when the one storm was approaching Lubbock, and then there were some other storms starting to develop in Oklahoma. He had live feeds from storm chasers, and in one of them, his windshield got smacked with, I think, a tennis ball sized hailstone. It didn't bust it out, but it sure gave it a good whack. I gotta give kudos to those people who are out chasing the storms. I'm subscribed to a storm chaser here in Iowa. So if he goes live, I'll probably dip into his stream. I've done that before, so. Yeah, once it leaves Iowa and heads east, then the states east of here will get it. But I'll tell you, I learned some lessons from the 2020 derecho that shredded this state. It was not all that long after we got back from our family trip to Lake Icaria. I did not have any power stations, what some people like to call solar generators. I don't. I just call them a power station. I did not have any. I decided to get into that. I got a small one, then another small one. Then I do have a third small one, and then last year, I think in February, I won that Opus 600, which has lithium iron phosphate or LiFePO4 battery. One of my smaller power stations has that same type of battery in it. The other one have lithium ion batteries. But since I won that 100-watt solar panel, if I needed to, I could charge all 4 power stations at once. I have 4 solar panels. I have a 50-watt hard edge panel, like ones you might put on a roof or a pole mount or frame mount that would stay outside all the time. Then I have a 100 watts folding one. I have a 160 watt folding one, and now I have another 100 watt. No, I have a 60 watt folding one. I have a 160 watt folding panel. Now I have a 100 watt panel. So if I needed to, and I would have to sit out there with all of them, I would take all my solar panels outside, either down to the parking lot or to the park across the street. My power stations, and I would use my collapsible wagon to haul them all. After I carried them all individually down the steps, then I put them into the wagon and then haul them to where I'm going to sit to charge. And I could have all 4 of them charging. I don't get direct sun on my deck at all. I tried that with my 60 watt panel, and I was possibly getting a few watts, just barely enough to show on the power station that it was charging. But I wanted to try it, see how all that worked. Before then, I had maybe like those little tiny panels that are no bigger than this part of my tray here, excluding this end. And none of those bigger than 20 watts. But I could do that if I had to. But what I would probably do with my smaller ones, I would use one until it dies. This is like for a prolonged power outage, more, like several days. And I would charge a phone with it, because I have a number of battery and rechargeable lanterns And these ball ones like the sphere and the O bulbs from Olight, I have a bunch of these. I would use a couple of those at a time, not all of them all at once. I've spread the use out over days. And instead of trying to charge them all at once, I might charge one plus a phone off of one of my small power stations. And then I would go to the next power station and run that one down. And then wait for power to come back on the charge, or I would be able to sit out and babysit the thing all day while it charged off of the solar panel. Now, I'm in a small apartment. I don't need a whole lot of light. I can practice OPSEC with lighting. Use as little light as possible at night. And because I can have red light, I would use that. Especially if I just need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I would use one of these and just turn on the red light. Or I have headlamps that have red light. And that's how I would do that. Of course, at night I have my my blinds over my slider. I would keep that closed. And in here, I would definitely use the red light. Just to keep it less obvious that I have light at all. Now, there are people in this building who are not prepared whatsoever for power outages. In fact, in 2020, the neighbor who lived next door to me, she had nothing, not even a flashlight. And so I lent her one of my battery-powered lanterns to use during the night, and then she brought it back the next day. And then another person who lives on the ground floor, or did live on the ground floor, they got a little generator, but they failed to get a long cord for it. And at that time, all I had was a power strip with a 3-foot cord. I don't even think it was a 6-footer. I said, that's all I have. I will let you borrow it. I said, what apartment I'm in, so you know where to bring it back. I never got it back. But with that shorter cord, they had the generator close to the window, so a very dangerous thing to do. Because I'm not on the ground floor, I would not have one at all, even if I ran one of my 12-foot cords out my slider down to, over the side of my deck. Actually, it would take a longer than a 12-footer. I would need like a 20-foot to go over the side of my deck down to the ground. But I wouldn't do that because having it way down there and up, and I'm not on the ground floor, someone could nip it. And that has happened to people. They would have their generators proper distance away, but then someone would come along and just take it. So that's why I went for the solar option. That way it's also quiet. I don't have to worry about keeping a distance. I don't have to keep it outside. And no one would be the wiser. I hope I'm not boring you all by talking about this, but it's just what I do. It's a lesson I learned from the 2020 derecho, and in power outages that have lasted several hours when I have been at home, I would either use my power bank or one of my little power stations. I have also taken my 3 small ones camping. I have taken them to, I camp at the park where the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow takes place every September. I've been using my mini power stations at that for I think about 4 years I've done that. Previously, I would just have my little power banks, at least 2 of them. But having a power stations gives me a lot more power, and I can save the power banks for when I have to be mobile. And I can keep the power station inside of, I was sleeping in a tent, and then past couple of years I've slept in one of the teepees, which also serves as a craft supply storage at night. I haven't seen any new chat, so I'm hoping that the chat is working for you all. I hope it's not me who's, the chat's froze up, that it has been known to happen. And I'm looking at it on my Kindle because my phone is mounted above my table. I see about a 3 to 4 second delay between what my phone camera sees and when it shows up on my Kindle. I don't know about a chat delay since I'm not looking at my phone screen. I would have to stand up to do that, and I just don't feel like doing that. And again, I hope the chat is working. I hope you're still able to hear me. I don't know if there are any issues with connection. I seem to have a solid connection. Or maybe you're all asleep, I don't know. But I hope you all are enjoying these streams, especially with me doing something slightly different. I haven't decided when I will do the two goulashes. I'll probably toss something else up. And next week being the first weekend in May, Monday being the 5th is a Cinco de Mayo. Although I am a Polska, I may pull out one of my Mexican style MREs and chow down on that. That could be something that I might do. I'll have to look at my inventory and see what I got. I know I have a few. I got a couple of the new menus, they're new to me, in my case B. I'll probably look at those because that's where those menus are. The ones I have in my other boxes are different menus, or they're not USMREs. I still have some rations and loose components stored in the box I got from MRA Mountain. I have that case B that I got from Waffles. I'll probably, once I get down to enough where I can just keep that one filled with rations, I'll probably use that as my secondary ration box. And I have another unique item that I will show probably after I mail off a trade. I'm doing a trade with someone in a Facebook ration group. So I'm going to pack up the things that I'm going to send him. The pork MREs that were in the case B, since I don't eat pork, Muslims and Jews do not eat pork, so I am trading those off for the item that I have already received, but I may pick up a couple of Iowa produced products just to put in that box just for a little extra fun. Now we have a few cool food items that are produced here in Iowa that are distributed in some other states. So when I do grocery shopping, my trips, I may pick up a couple of those items and put those in the box along with those MREs, and then send them off. And then once I send off that box, I'll show what I received in the trade, something that I have wanted to get but just haven't been able to find one that sounded interesting to me, but he showed me a picture. I said, yeah, this one. So I now have it. So that gives me additional video fodder, so to speak. And he is not a YouTuber that I know of. I don't know if he has a channel, but he watches Ration reviewers, and he may have subscribed to my channel. So when I do show that one, I will shout him out. But you'll have to find out later on what that item is. And I think people will be excited to see that one opened up. But with all these things that I got, that I'm still waiting on something that another reviewer is supposed to send me, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping that it will come soon. It is a ratatouille MRE. Is a discontinued menu. I have never had that one. I've always wanted to try it, but this person has one, said send it to me. So I hope to get that one in here fairly soon. And I would like to do a trade with Smokey, but I'm not sure what I would send him as far as a trade. But I'm sure I'll come up with something. But this trade that I'm taking part in now is my second. I've done a trade with Sean Hack. I've already uploaded my video of what I got from him, and he got the package I sent him. I just haven't seen him put up a video yet, but he's been pretty busy, so I'm pretty sure he will get that up soon. Or maybe YouTube is just not notifying me when he puts anything up, so I'll have to check his channel. I had a duplicate Spanish ration, and he seemed interested in it. And so I said, yeah, we'll trade. But I think I got the better end of the deal because he sent me so much stuff. And I only sent him a few items. Yeah, just knocked back the rest of my lemon lime drink. So I have my G7. Again, I apologize for that smoke detector burp chirping. I almost said burping. Maybe it is burping, who knows. I'll grab this other phone here that is internet only. I'm going to check the weather real quick. The weather app on this one takes a long time to load. But I like having a second phone. That way I can do this. I don't have Facebook or Instagram on it, but it has now dropped to 59 Fahrenheit. So that is tomorrow's forecast. 83 Fahrenheit. Raising that up so hopefully we can see that. Now Wednesday, more storms, but not as warm. The lows are in the 40s and 50s Fahrenheit at night. So I haven't planted anything. We did not get everything planted at the mosque that we wanted to yesterday. We are going to get some more flowers. That's all we're doing is flowers. We're going to have some perennials, which means they will come up. They'll do their fall dieback. And then in the spring they will get growing again, produce their flowers. We have some planted around our 2 cedar trees, and we have some planted along part of the fence. We have a couple pots on either side of the entry door. And then we're going to finish off planting it right along the fence and maybe a couple other spots. We have one of those little free libraries. When I did my short and published a post about those water weights that we use to hold the tent down that we rented to keep it from being taken by the wind, that little post with a little house-shaped box on it, that is a little free library. We have a bunch of those scattered around the city, and those have popped up in other cities. And earlier this month I put in 3 of those books that I picked up at a thrift store. I have the 4th one, and I posted a picture of that in a Facebook group that I'm in. And one person commented that said that they have found that and have decided to check it out from the library. But since I bought mine at the thrift store, I keep it. And this is it. I call it experiments, but it's basically a kid's cookbook learning how to do things with adult supervision or assistance. And it looks something like this. It has color pictures, has the recipe, and then you have additional information and other lessons. I'm looking for let's see, when was this published? I'm looking for that. It was first published in 2021. Probably hard to see that. And then in 2022 was the first paperback version. I thought that would be a good book to have. Whereas my great niece is 14. And some of the recipes in there are, they got age, minimum age, suggestions for it, how much adult supervision and assistance is needed. But I figured that would be a good learning one that I could, if things go sideways while she's still a kid, I could give it to her. But I have other in-law relatives who are still young. My in-law great nephews. It would be something I could give to their parents. Something that they can do just to learn a skill that every kid should learn. It should be cooking should still be taught in the schools outside of a culinary institute or a college that has a culinary program like we do here in Des Moines. Des Moines Area Community College does have a culinary program. so that if people want to get a cooking related degree, they can. But I looked at it and thought, oh, that would be a cool book to have for that I can pass on to a parent. Or just keep for myself because, it's something adults can use too. After all, Homestead Tessie, she has books geared towards kids, but because her children are grown up and a couple have their own kids, she keeps them herself. And maybe read some of them to the grandkids when they're over. But the other 3 children's books I bought from that thrift store went into that little free library. And they have all been taken. Some little kids have found them, so I'm happy that some little kid gets to enjoy a book who may not have otherwise been able to have one. Or maybe a parent decided, that would be a good book for my kid. That little box that has the books, it needs a new door latch to keep it closed. And I have one, it just hasn't been put on yet, so but hopefully that can be a project that can get done fairly soon. I just finished off my G7 coffee in my delicious mug. He's in Poland. He finds rations that are easier for him to get a hold of than we are here in the US or maybe even Canada. And he does them in English, but he also has a Polish channel. I can't remember the name of it. I haven't seen anything on that one for a while, but I'm subscribed to that one. I'm Polish, so, I kind of gravitate towards things like that. But I think that is actually going to do it for tonight's stream. I hope everybody enjoyed it, seeing that out of a bag that was supposed to contain tuna, got this instead. I happen to like the jalapeno beef patty. That's one of my favorite entrees. There is an Amory that does have that as its entree, and it is labeled as such. So if you like something with a little kick to it, I highly recommend you get that one. because it does have a little spice that some of the other Emery entrees are lacking. But I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm going to go ahead and call this done. I'm going to end up putting this one, I'll probably just put this whole thing in a bag so I can keep it all together, since this thing is a hot mess. But I hope you enjoyed having a look at two different versions of the same menu and see what got changed. And what remained the same. I had fun doing it, and I hope you had a good time watching it. I hope to see you all again next time. Again, every Sunday, unless I'm otherwise unavailable. And if I can, I post up when I'm not going to be able to stream on a Sunday. And thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.